Ronald Avon here. In today's video, we will be going through a war drama film entitled War Witch. There will be spoilers ahead. Chill out and enjoy. The movie begins with Kimono, a 12-year-old girl, getting abducted by the Great Tiger Rebel when she and her family live in a tiny isolated village. She is one of the children being forced into murdering their parents as part of the notorious terrorist group. The leader gives her the rifle and orders her to kill her parents. He scares Kimono into torturing her parents if she refuses. Kimono's father tells her to obey the leader. Then the firing explodes. Kimono and other village children are being sent to another remote island to be trained as terrorists. The rebels encourage them to respect and cherish their firearms as if they were people. Kimono and other children are compelled to fight the state. She is tortured and overworked by lugging hefty weaponry, jumping from peaks to peaks in quest of food and targets. Kimono learns to suppress her tears or face harsh punishment from the leader. On the same day, the rebels give each child a real gun. The rebels sing as they distribute guns, nearly a tradition. Each child then discharges their weapon to prove they are a Great Tiger Rebel. Food and water are in scarcity, with only a gulp of rainwater from the tree given to Kimono and the other children. While on the hunt for an enemy, Kimono is experiencing nausea. As a spy, she makes her way ahead. After a while, she gently peeks out from behind the tree and is startled by the sight of two white, unknown beings kneeling there. She goes into a panic. Suddenly, one of the white beings yells at her to run, and gunfire erupts in all directions. It takes Kimono a while to understand that soldiers are around her and the members of the Great Tiger Rebels. The following shooting has killed several of her troops. Kimono is now aware that drinking the tree's water has led her to see ghosts. These ghosts have appeared to her everywhere since they first arrived, and have even defended her from government soldiers. The rebels believe that Kimono has special abilities because they think she is a witch. In an instant, they want her to help defend and fight against the government forces. As they approach the town, a rebel member chants that they have brought a witch to help them. The other rebels welcome Kimono with joy and chanting. While walking around, Kimono notices a man watching them from a tall building. This man is the general, and he has brought Kimono to him to assist the squad in future fights. The Great Tiger Rebels have dubbed Kimono the War Witch due to her impact on the uprising. The general greets Kimono and asks if she is able to locate government soldiers hiding in the woods. She says yes. The general gives Kimono a gift, a powerful gun that he has treasured and valued for many years. The weapon is ancient but still strong, with inscribed symbols on it. The Great Tiger Rebels are currently occupying a camp and sorting black stones from a basin called Colton. Kimono is unsure of the purpose of this task because she does not know what a Colton is capable of. However, she believes it must be connected to the war against the government soldiers. One day, Kimono remembers seeing a rebel steal a Colton, and the rebels punish the thief by digging trenches and burying him, except for his head. Over the course of 3 days, the thief became trapped in the hole and died with his jaws open. The Great Tiger Rebels then loaded the Colton into a truck. The rebel slaves are also digging and sorting black stones, and the rebels are on the lookout for anyone trying to steal from them again. When a rebel noticed Kimono slumped, he beat her. The magician fires his weapon, and the rebels stop attacking Kimono. The magician urges the rebel not to harm Kimono, as she is recognized as a special asset, and some say she is the key to overthrowing the government. Trying to harm Kimono, which would result in disaster. The rebels are relaxing on an abandoned bus, watching a movie, of course watching Ronald Avon recaps. After a short time, the general orders them to move and prepare for a strike on the adjacent soldiers, as anticipated. Kimono correctly forecasted the troops' whereabouts after the strike. The rebels have a celebration to celebrate their win against the government soldiers. Their triumph was celebrated by firing guns into the air, and the Great Tiger Rebels were lauded and worshipped as heroes. Kimono in particular was revered like a goddess. After the victory celebration on the outskirts of town, the magician and the people met, and he narrated a story about the Great Tiger Rebels. Meanwhile, the general was yelling at one of the rebels, who was soon shot and killed in a shocking moment. Kimono was about to fall off when she witnessed a ritual in a nearby tent, where she saw the magician and strange chicken feet hanging from the corner. She asked what they were for, and the magician told her they were for protection against ancestral monsters. He gave her a protective amulet as well. The next day, Kimono and the rebels kept watch, and another rebel drank magic milk, which awakened the magician. Kimono also sipped the magic milk and began to giggle and speak strangely. She noticed a crowd of soldiers approaching and warned the rebels to attack. They quickly fired their big machine guns and other powerful weapons, winning the battle in a surprise victory. Kimona could feel their desire for Colton. A member of Great Tiger Rebel quits. He resigns, pointing the revolver at the magician. That's when the magician reveals him his charm and promises him he'll never die. The magician ends the dispute and frees the rebel. Then he must face Kimona and see whether she follows, but Komodo refuses the magician. The magician instructs her to leave the group. 3 witches died before Kimona because their lives were useless defending the Great Tiger Rebels, which is no longer possible. They both leave with a boat soon after. The magician asks Kimona to marry him. If someone asked Kimona to marry, she remembers what her father said. Kimona denies his offer and tells him he must first provide her with a white rooster, which is rare in their culture. Therefore, getting Kimona to say yes to the magician's request is impossible. The magician accepts Kimona's challenge to locate a white rooster and travels to the neighboring town to steal one. The man they encounter is unmoved by the magician's firearm. As he is laughing so hard, he calls his wife to tell her that someone is looking for a white rooster. The magician storms out and decides to move. He is keen to find his own white rooster for his Kimona, so he continues his search for the white rooster, stopping in yet another town. Like the last couple, promises the magician that finding a white rooster is impossible, as they don't have it either. After Kimona's challenge, the magician sets off to discover a chicken farm. The magician and Kimona then change clothes. The magician asks Kimona to marry him again, but she says she needs a white rooster first. Kimona's father is lying, however, and the white rooster does not exist. If Kimona persists, the magician will leave her. So the magician leaves and goes to the railroad. Kimona soon follows, but becomes weary and stops walking ahead of the magician. The magician discovers that Kimona has left him and rushes to her near the railroad. As he approaches, he gets an idea when he sees a car. He approaches the vehicle and slams it, pretending to be the victim. The 2 men in the car start yelling at him to stop, but the magician continues, urging them to pay up. However, they refuse. The magician manages to keep the drama going until other villagers see the incident and have no choice but to give the magician the money and go. Buying food and drink with the money, he searches for the white rooster. A guy knows where the white rooster is. They went to the village to buy it. The white rooster dealer. The maestro tells the magician that this chicken is rare and expensive. Maestro orders the magician to catch the white rooster. The magician chases the rooster, and Kimona gets the white rooster. She is eager to serve the magician, and they do so. Meanwhile, the magician brings Kimona to his uncle, who they call the butcher. His uncle greets them with a frown, asking the magician if there is anything over. Instead, the magician introduces Kimona to him as his wife. They share a sumptuous meal later that evening. The next day, the magician and Kimona begin working as oil extractors in the village. After their task, they proceed to the farm to gather additional raw materials for the oil extraction. When the Great Tiger Rebels arrive, they want her. She must be returned to the rebels by the general. They grab Kimona from the magician. Kimona refuses to murder the magician. In front of Kimona, the leader murders the magician. Take Kimona with them. The butcher removes his nephew from the scene. This time, Kimona is already 14 years old. She continues the battle with the Great Tiger Rebels against the government. She has become more fearless and tough. She vomits one day while fighting the government soldiers. She recalls the leader raping her and learning she is pregnant. Kimona lifts heavy objects for the rebels. The leader replaces her ex-wife with Kimona after the leader's ex-wife died. He wanted a replacement. She begins seeing her parents' spirits and experiencing nightmares. After the magician is killed, she dreams about her parents ordering her to bury their corpses. She must break her ties with the leader before returning to her village to execute her plan. She must become a thorn. She has a great idea. She uses a fruit with a blade to trap the leader. She inserted it. She felt the leader will touch him at night, so she made this strategy that night. The leader shows up drunk at their tent in response to the leader's question. Kimona nods and wants to make love with the leader. The leader then touches Kimona and feels her. He slid inside Kimona and stuck his erection to her. As he does this, he discovers his manhood is bleeding. Surprisingly, the plan works. She grabs something hard and smacks the leader. Then she leaves the Great Tiger Rebels village. She sprints as Kimona has a strong ache, and the cops catch Kimona after asking a local village for assistance. Her belly still hurts as the police assist her in freeing Kimona. He's preparing to drive Kimona to the hospital. But he changes his mind and asks Kimona if she wants to see the magician's butcher uncle. The police keep their word to Kimona. Upon arriving at the butcher's village, a woman manages to extract a fruit with a blade from Kimona, telling her that it is dangerous for her baby as it can cause suffocation. The butcher checks on Kimona and asks if she wants to stay in the village. Kimona is like a daughter to the butcher and he offers to teach her to run some errands. Kimona has nightmares again the following day and accuses the woman of murdering the magician. If she does not return her gun, Kimona will murder her. Kimona's bulge grows larger with each passing day. Kimona flees, ashamed of her conduct. A boat takes Kimona to a remote place where her stomach begins to crumble in pain. She just discovers she is in labor. In the end, it is Kimona who delivers the baby on her own. After bathing and dressing the newborn, she heads home to fulfill her vow to her parents by burying them in a dignified manner. The movie ends with Kimona looking for her parents' remains. She names her son Magician after her late husband. Kimona leaves the community and starts a new life. Sorry for the uncomfortable scenes. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. It helps the channel to grow.